This week, the Supreme Court heard oral arguments testing a 1935 precedent that put limits on presidents from firing independent government officials. The case at issue involved President Trump's attempt to fire a Democratic commissioner, Rebecca Slaughter, from the Federal Trade Commission, and it seems like the court is going to overturn or at least severely restrict that precedent. The court's 3 liberal justices repeatedly said that if the court overrules this decision, it's going to
destroy the structure of government.
What it means in practical terms, if the president gets his way, he could fire all of the Democratic commissioners, install his own people, or not replace them at all, and that could really hamper the work of those agencies that Congress set up originally to be insulated from politics. These are agencies that Congress has charged with protecting consumers, the environment, ensuring nuclear safety, and they purposely wanted them filled with experts and scientists who would not be subject to the whims of whoever was in the White House. The idea was tested back in 1935 in a case called Humphrey's Executor v. U.S., and the Supreme Court said, yes, Congress can put limits on the president's ability to fire these officials. But this week, there are clear signs that the Supreme Court's conservative majority is prepared to either overturn or strictly limit that precedent. You heard Chief Justice Roberts say,
Humphrey's Executor is just a dried husk of whatever people used to think it was.
This has been a project for decades. As a young lawyer in the Reagan administration, John Roberts, the future Chief Justice, was part of a cadre of young lawyers who really embraced this strong executive. They note that the Constitution vests the executive power in the president, and so these other agencies who exercise some executive power, they say, should be accountable to the president. He writes a memo in 1983 and said he agrees the time is right to reconsider these agencies and trying to bring them under more direct control of the White House. So John Roberts joins the court in 2005, and soon he's part of a majority that is slowly expanding presidential power in a series of rulings. This 2010 decision is really important because Roberts lays out an expansive view of presidential power. He quotes Harry Truman and says the buck stops with the president, and he says the authority to remove those who assist him in carrying out his duties is really critical. Then in 2020, during the first Trump term, we have another example of the court expanding presidential power. Justices Neil Gorsuch and Clarence Thomas say Humphrey's Executor, the 1935 precedent, poses a direct threat to our constitutional structure and as a result, the liberty of the American people. This has been a project of the conservatives on the court and more broadly, and it's happening to meet this moment where President Trump wants to take more control over these independent agencies.